Broadcasting live, this is the Handicappers Report, brought to you by the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany, and CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today.
Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report live from Gulfstream Park. Happy to be here on Fountain of Youth weekend, a big day of stakes action tomorrow. Handicappers Report, I'll take a look at the Friday action today to kick things off. We'll go about 45 minutes, then we'll kick into Racing Across America. Coming up on Racing Across America today, we'll be joined by Terry Finley from West Point Thoroughbreds. Their giant game was entered in stake tomorrow on the grass. But I talked to Terry yesterday. He's headed over to Tampa to go on the grass today. So we'll talk a little bit about Giant Game at Tampa this afternoon. They also have Cugino in the Colonel Liam tomorrow. They have a horse in the Gotham in New York. Their first-time starter, Sedona, gets underway this weekend as well, the full sibling to First Captain. Maybe we'll catch up also on integration. So looking forward to talking to Terry a little bit later on. We also take some thoughts on tomorrow's card from Dave Grenig with the Daily Racing Form. Always fun to catch up with Dave. He's down from New York to help out on a big weekend down at Gulfstream. Tomorrow, hope to plug in Mike Welch. Obviously, he's home base down here other than the summertime when we have him sitting in with us up at Saratoga. But we'll try to get some Mike Welch on tape this afternoon for tomorrow's show. We also yesterday caught up a little Tyler Gaffleone. Junior Alvarado, we talked to him and got some of his thoughts on last week's big win in the Saudi Cup, $20 million victory for Junior on Senior Buscador. And Rohan Creighton has an interesting runner in Real Macho in tomorrow's Fountain of Youth. So we caught up with him as well. We'll parse out those taped interviews between today and tomorrow as well. We'll pick up some more folks also this afternoon as we're bouncing around the track. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to our friends here at Gulfstream. They're always very hospitable, and we have enjoyed our stay so far and expect to do so for the next few days as well. So we're happy you're tuned in to be able to check us out live from Gulfstream Park. Let me catch up on some of the news and notes, so to speak, of what's coming up over the next few days, Capital OTB and beyond in the racing world. First of all, via Capital OTB, don't forget that tomorrow at the Clubhouse Racebook, there's a $100 Play the Board challenge. So you can come down and watch the really nice card right here at Gulfstream. And don't forget tomorrow's first post here at Gulfstream, 11:15. So we'll get the 11 open, or it may even be earlier than that for the Clubhouse, but you'll be able to get in and get your Gulfstream action by that 11:15 post time tomorrow. And then also enjoy Play the Board contest. Maybe have a little extra fun. So come on down to the Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. As I say, going beyond the racing world, just some of the news over the next few days. Keep in mind here at Gulfstream Park, mandatory pay in the rainbow coming up on Sunday. And they tend to hammer in, so I would expect a nice juicy pool on Sunday for the folks playing the Rainbow Six with the mandatory pay here at Gulfstream on Sunday. Big Cap Day was scheduled for tomorrow out at Santa Anita, but again, they have been a little bit snake bitten with the weather out in Southern California. So expecting a big storm tonight into tomorrow in Southern California. The folks at Santa Anita have already moved Big Cap Day to Sunday, and their Sunday card is going to be on Monday. So the Big Cap card will be Sunday at Santa Anita. On the undercard there, Nisos will be in the San Felipe, so that should be a lot of fun. Again, that Saturday card has been postponed due to weather to Sunday, Big Cap card with the San Felipe. Don't forget also this weekend there's a Preakness Future Pool. Should be fun. And keep in mind also, as opposed to the Derby pools, the future pools, which typically close on Sundays, the Preakness Future Pool will close at 8 o'clock tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Saturday. You can get more information there at Preakness.com/future wager. Morning line favorite, no shock, Nisos at 4-1. All others it's at 6-1. And I'll tell you what, if you get that price on the all others, could be a little bit interesting because let's face it, the horses who are on the list right now, if they're doing something, they'll show up at the Derby. And we all know you're an also ran at the Derby, you may not show up at the Preakness. So all others may get you some decent horses in the gate for the Preakness. But again, Preakness Future Pool this weekend and closes tomorrow night, Saturday night at 8. All right, that kind of catches you up. So let's jump in and take a look at today's action here at Gulfstream Park. Again, another fun card to kind of kick us off and hopefully make us some money to fund us for the big day tomorrow. And we kick things off today. Again, the post time tomorrow, 11:15. But today, and this is essentially the standard post time now that we have a little more daylight and whatnot. Post time today, 1:10 here at Gulfstream Park. It'll kick off with a maiden claimer going 7 furlongs. For me in the opener at Gulfstream today, 6, 2, 7, and 5. La Mirada. I have kind of mixed feelings about this. First, on the pro side, I think this may be an improved 3-year-old. It seems like the 3-year-old comeback was an improved effort. That also could have been due to the addition of Lasix with the 3-year-old debut. But the last did seem like an improved effort. It was a second-place finish behind Kozal. Kozal won nicely that day, and then came back subsequently just a little over a week ago, and Kozal won an allowance race by 12 lengths, kind of flattering that performance last time and maybe flattering the second-place finisher from that day, La Mirada. So, again, all of that on the pro side of things. On the con, if this is an improving 3-year-old, why are they taking another step down the claiming ladder? So I was a little bit dicey there, but they've had, 6 tries, haven't gotten it done yet, so they just kind of, shooting for a winning spot. But again, that was a little bit of a concern for me. Short price on the morning line, I think will take a lot of action. But I think, again, legit off of that February 3rd second place finish, which, as I say, was an improved effort. Second spot, Must Have Been Love, was in that same race behind Kozal, and La Mirada was well behind them. But I thought the debut effort was pretty good. So who knows? Maybe a little bit of a bounce last time. Going out for Kathleen O'Connell, you're seeing 6% here at this meet, but take a look at her stats over at Tampa. Kathleen O'Connell can certainly train, and she, from the beginning of the Tampa meet, she has been doing very well over on the west coast of the state. So again, the numbers look maybe a little bit light here at this meet, but I'm not going to ignore any Kathleen O'Connell runners. And off of that career debut effort, which was okay, I'm thinking that last race is one we can maybe look for as a bounce potential and look for a rebound, particularly if the morning line at 10-1 holds up. Jose Ortiz on board this afternoon. Again, with that morning line, could be an interesting runner at a little bit of a price. And Masvino in the third spot. I'm wondering if this one under Paco Lopez might wind up being the speed in a race where I don't think there is necessarily a lot of early speed, but this one has a little bit of early foot. Might be the controlling speed from the outside. 6-1 on the morning line. You get a little bit of a price on this one. I would not argue with anyone taking a little shot on the potential that maybe this is a horse that could kind of steal it on the front end. So an interesting opener today, kicking off the early pick 5 in the first race here at Gulfstream today, 6, 2, 7, and 5. Second race at Gulfstream, more maiden claimers. This time they're on the turf at 8.5 furlongs. I'm going to take a shot, 10-1 on the morning line, no violence. 1, 3, 4, 5. No violence by violence. If you watch enough, I like violence as a sire of win early types. And I say it often, and sometimes it works out at a price. When you get one of these horses with a little win early breeding, win early sire, and they don't get it done in the first start, second, third, whatever, and then they switch some things up, maybe take another look. So this one tries the turf today and 2 turns. So does get a switch up, gets a little half a step down the claiming ladder. I think this one's interesting. Started the career for Steve Asmussen, debuted for a tag, and was picked right out of that first start. Subsequently, came down here to Gulfstream in December, moved down the claiming ladder. But it is Ken Ramsey. He'll play around a little bit, but didn't really improve much. But again, now we switch things up. Kind of interesting also. This one has a sibling called Forgiving Spirit. was sixth in debut, won the second career start. So you have Violence on top. You have a win early sibling from the Dam. What I found interesting with the sibling, Forgiving Spirit, out of the Dam, apology accepted, but by Shaman Ghost. And it shows you how time flies. You start to get older. I was thinking Shaman Ghost, really? We're now seeing him in the sire side of the siblings and whatnot. But it was back in 2015, the Jimmy Jerkins trainee won the Queen's Plate, wound up to be second in the 2017 Pegasus. 2016 Woodward was a winner there. So we saw him up at Saratoga for Jimmy Jerkins, but it was just kind of interesting to see Shaman Ghost playing in the breeding of one of the horses I was kind of looking up here. Again, the sibling to No Violence, who won in the second career start. So I thought there was a little win early there. 10-1 on the morning line. I'll play around a little bit with No Violence. Second spot, Banana Split. Limited sample for Joe Orsino, but does well, again, with a very limited sample, but does well. Maiden special weight to Maiden Claiming. This one showed a little punch last time and an improved effort moving to the turf. And like the top pick, tries the 2 turns for the first time. We'll see if that one can, that aspect can move the horse forward a little bit. And then Little Miss Money in the third spot for me. Another one, Maiden special weight to Maiden Claiming. Purchased at Ocala April for a decent amount of money, $110,000. Clearly has not lived up to that yet. But another one going main special weight to Maiden Claiming, obviously a potent move. And by Munnings, there is again some win early. Munnings last year, 122 first-time start. And again, I realize this isn't a first-time starter, but I look at those first-time starter stats as signaling precocity. So Munnings last year, 122 first-time starters, 7 winners, 20 seconds, 15 thirds, so 27 in the exacta for 122 starters. Good numbers for Munning as a sire of potential win early types, which I think Little Miss Money maybe lives up to again with the switch up on the class. I think it's an interesting race with some of these that do have a little win early in the breeding, getting some kind of switch ups class-wise, surface, distance, or whatnot. I'm going to take a little pop in here, though, on the morning line at the 10-1 shot. In the second at Gulfstream, 1, 3, 4, and 5. Third race at Gulfstream this afternoon. We are looking at optional claimer starter allowance types on the synthetic. In the third, I'm 10, 8, 2, and 6. I'm going to put Singing Sandra on top for Kathleen O'Connell, the aforementioned Kathleen O'Connell, who, as I say, putting up really good numbers across state. Going out for our friends up at Windy Lee Farm. Had Kip on with us up at Saratoga last year. There are some races underneath that are pretty good. The Maiden Breaker, I thought, was a good-looking effort. I thought the last 2 were pretty good, and tossing out numbers consistently that are going to mix it up with this bunch. I'm a little bit concerned about the post position at the 2 turns on the synthetic, but I thought this horse may just class up nicely with this particular bunch. You're getting 6-1 on the morning line, so I think you have to get a little bit of value here with the post position, but I'll put Singing Sandra, the 10 on top. Second spot, Oh Yeah, Thunder. 3 starts so far. Seemed to clearly appreciate the stretch out to 2 turns last time. Now, that was combined with a class dip, so it might certainly have been the class dip. And the class dip and the 2 turns got this horse a win. So this is a little bit of an ask going from the Maiden Claiming ranks into this optional claimer starter allowance. And I always say sometimes it'll take these horses a start or two to figure out that next level up. But this horse did it in kind of fine fashion. And again, seemed to maybe appreciate that 2 turns in a way where this horse can string 2 together despite the class move. And then in the third spot, Wow Lucky broke the maiden 2 back, was claimed out of that, comes back in a similar spot last time. We're in a pretty good second, and in fact, finished in front of my top pick, Singing Sandra. So Wow Lucky, I think, is very dangerous in here. John Velasquez was on board for that good second last time. He'll be back on board again today, so I would not ignore Wow Lucky in this bunch as well. In the third at Gulfstream, 10-8, 2 and 6. All right, we'll head to a break, and when we come back, more on the Handicappers Report live from Gulfstream Park on a gorgeous morning, warm, but there's a little bit of a breeze. I think it's going to be a great afternoon of racing as well, kicking into a great Fountain of Youth weekend. So stay tuned. Back in a few, more from Gulfstream Park. Haven't signed up for a Capital OTB account yet? Now's the time to take advantage of the sign up bonus. Open up a new account with $200 or more, bet $400 by the end of the month, and receive a bonus $200 into your account. Plus, you can take advantage of everything an OTB account has to offer: wagering from any device, live streaming, racing info, past performances, online promotions, and more. Sign up today and take advantage of the new account bonus. Details at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back. Seth Merrow live from Gulfstream Park. Thanks for joining us. Again, hopefully we touted enough that you're all tuned in this morning for Handicapper support, and coming up a little bit later on, Racing Across America. And don't forget, mark it down, early start tomorrow as well with that 11:15 post time here tomorrow. We'll have an early start here on the network. We will kick off Handicapper support at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm flying solo today on the Handicapper support, but tomorrow, Steve Bick will be sitting in with me for some handicapping on the Fountain of Youth card. So that should be fun at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And again, we'll have Racing Across America as well with some taped interviews and live. And so it should be a lot of fun. But mark that on your calendar for tomorrow, 8 a.m. kickoff here on OTB TV. All right, today let's get back into the Friday card at Gulfstream with the fourth race. Maiden optional claimers with a C condition. 3/4 of a mile is the trip. 2, 5, 4, and 6 for me. The 5 down in the Bayou, 8 to 5 on the morning line. And off the debut effort, I get it. I debated, but I thought Evanora was a little bit interesting. Again, with some interesting breeding. Gervin last year, 47 first-time starters, 8 winners, 6 seconds, 5 thirds. So 14 exacta finishes out of 47 first-time starters. Gervin, a good sire of precocious runners. He comes out of that Cozal race. So we may get a little line through Lamarada in the opener, because Lamarada finished second, Evanora finished third. That was the career debut, though. I think comes out of that maybe getting some nice experience. But again, Gervin on top. Dan produced a full sibling called Bring It On. Took 6 starts to win, but in the first 6 starts had to win a couple of seconds and a third. So I thought there was a little win early, top and bottom. And as I say, may benefit from the experience of the debut effort. And also, I kind of like that bullet work we're coming in with. Seems to signal well met. Luis Saez on board. So I'll take a little shot, Evanora, over the 8 to 5 favorite down in the Bayou. But down in the Bayou makes plenty of sense. Bohemian Square, Bohemian Squall. 17 first-time starters last year as a sire. 4 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. So not a whole lot of first-time starters, but pretty good numbers there. Didn't live up to it in the debut, but ran a pretty good third and did it with a number that matches up very nicely with those in here that have run so far. I also like that they come back in less than 3 weeks. It kind of signals a little bit of intent to me as well. So makes sense, and certainly is going to take some action, and probably deservedly so. Elagio is also interesting to me. Mitoli as a first-time starter, 73 runners last year, 10 wins, 8 seconds, 13 thirds. So Mitoli has done pretty good with his first-time starters. The Dam produced a sibling called Yorkie Poo Princess, who won 4 of the first 8 starts of the career, including 3 stakes races. So another one that I thought was potent with win early, top and bottom. And you get 12 to 1 there on the morning line. Steve Calaceris, not known, limited sample, but not really known for getting it done first time out of the box, but that'll just add, I think, to the value. And again, with the breeding, this horse is a little bit interesting. In a race that, of those that have won, I said the number was pretty good for down in the Bayou. But relatively speaking, these are not world beaters. So first time starter, the fresh face factor, this one wouldn't have to be an absolute superstar, but I think there's some breeding there to indicate the horse probably going to be okay. So in the fourth at Gulfstream, 2, 5, 4, and 6. Fifth race at Gulfstream today, we're looking at a B condition $35,000 claimer. I'm 6'5", 8, and 4. I thought the 1 was a little bit interesting as well. If you have the 1 in your mix, I'm not going to talk you off the 10-1 shot, but I put Spirit Maker on top. Ken Ramsey for Safi Joseph. Ken also has the 4, the Great Oz, going out for Rohan Crichton. But do note, Ken Ramsey, I looked it up on Equibase yesterday, and the owner stats on Equibase are always funny because they parse out partnerships and whatnot. But Ken Ramsey on his own at the championship meet was clearly on top. 54 starters at the meet, 21 wins, 8 seconds, 7 thirds. So Ken Ramsey, as an owner, having a very good championship meet, and comes out of a B condition 50 claimer last time with a near miss. Irad Ortiz on board. He's back on board again today. And again, they take a half step down the claiming ladder. And off a good effort like that at the 50, why drop to the 35? Well, he claimed the horse, going back, 5 starts for 50. They put some money in the bank now. And again, Ken Ramsey likes to win, so they get spotted competitively, certainly. And I mentioned Spirit Maker. I actually wound up, and I'm looking at check marks and whatnot. I actually wound up putting that one down in the 3rd spot. I have Slipstream and Chantry Flats, 1, 2, the 6 and the 5. But again, with Ramsey and doing as well as he is with Irad Ortiz on board, Spirit Maker, probably the one to beat. And I'm just looking, I think, on the morning line. Second choice, actually. My top pick's the first choice at 9 to 5. The Clement Runner getting a dip in the dip down the class ladder. Slipstream. Good number last time against, I would say, notably better, an optional claimer for a much higher price. Was not in for the tag in that race, though. And again, this one just may be, it's a horse that's a classier than this bunch. Why take the class dip? Well, over the past couple of seasons, 7 starts, no wins, no seconds. So I think they're just getting realistic. But on the class and the number last time, Tyler Gaffleone jumps on board. I wound up putting Slipstream on top. As I say, I juggled around this race a little bit back and forth. But Slipstream eventually on top. Chantry Flats in the 2nd spot for me. Comes out of a starter handicap on the synthetic. That was, an okay 4th place finish. If you go down the page, there are some pretty good races. A little earlier last year at Turfway on the synthetic, but the turf record is good. So again, I thought that one could be interesting. Luis Saez on board. Another one making a class move that I think puts this horse firmly in the mix here. So interesting 5th race. For me, I have it 6, 5, 8, and 4. Race number 6 this afternoon here at Gulfstream Park. Optional claimer starter allowance, 5.5 on the synthetic. I went 7, 1, 5, and 6. I'll put Warda on top. 3 starts and 1 win. Got the win in the 2nd career start when moved from maiden special weight to maiden claiming. But I looked up the siblings to see, can they string wins together? Well, there's a sibling called Legends Can't Die. Won maiden special weight, won in maiden special weight company in the debut, then ran 5th in an allowance event, and then in the 3rd start won an allowance event. Hasn't won an 8 starts since, however, but won a couple fairly early. We'll see if this one can maybe live up to that sibling and get back to the winning ways. 2nd start after the maiden breaker. Again, sometimes it takes them a start to figure out the next level up. This one was a beaten favorite at this optional claiming level last time off the maiden breaker, but I'll look for this one to get back in the winner's circle this afternoon with that experience last time now under the belt. 2nd spot, Sharp Eyes. Tried this company last time and ran a decent little third in a similar event. It was the first time on the synthetic. It was 5.5 in this optional starter allowance level at this optional starter allowance level. And this one's also Sharp Eyes is also notable because most of the field in here only has the one career victory, but Sharp Eyes and Miguel's Bell both have a couple of victories, and experience counts. If you can get to the winner's circle a couple of times as compared to the rest of the bunch who have only seen it once, that's worth a little something, a little extra check mark. And then in the third spot, Laconia broke the maiden two back at 25, tried this company last time and just missed. Luis Saez was on board both of those. He's back on board again today. I think Laconia will be very competitive in with this bunch. But for me, in the sixth at Gulfstream, I have it 7, 1, 5, and 6. All right, we'll head to another break. When we come back, more from Gulfstream Park. Stay tuned.
And they're off in the Pegasus World Cup. They're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. Forte wins. White Arboreal almost home.
And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby.
Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again live from Gulfstream Park. Hopefully you're living vicariously looking at my background. Although as I left the other day, it was 60 degrees, but then they said, yesterday I think it was supposed to dip down to 30 up in the Albany, Saratoga area. So again, hopefully you are enjoying. I know being here live, not vicariously, we're enjoying it quite a bit. So hopefully you're enjoying watching. Again, we will continue tomorrow as well. 8 o'clock tomorrow. Don't forget. All right. Seventh race this afternoon at Gulfstream. Optional claimer, non-winners at one other than 9 furlongs is the trip in the seventh. 3, 6, 1, and 2 for me. The trouble is 3's out. It was a Speakeasy. Speakeasy, they had said, earlier in the week as entries were taken, debut winner with a triple-digit buyer for Pletcher, Windstar and Company. They said, we're going to cross-enter in the Fountain of Youth and kind of make the decision. And the decision was made, I think, early yesterday. Speakeasy will go off the maiden debut victory in the Fountain of Youth tomorrow. So it'll be interesting. So after the scratch, I'm 6, 1, and 2, Conquest Warrior. Interesting to me. I would think they have some big plans for this horse, particularly if the horse runs well today. I wouldn't be shocked to maybe see Florida Derby, but, Shug is conservative, so they're going to take this route. Debut effort was a decent little third place finish at Aqueduct early in December, and then they followed it up coming down here to Gulfstream, ran a pretty good effort to win the maiden special race going a mile middle of January. This is $1 million auction purchase, and I will say half a length victory in that maiden breaker over Antiquarian. Antiquarian subsequently goes over to Fairgrounds for Todd Pletcher and wins to break the maiden on the Risen Star undercard. And I think we all know the big 3-year-old days, the undercard races for the 3-year-olds are important and potent as well, so that they elected, hey, let's go over and take a shot on that Risen Star card at Fairgrounds. And they won with Antiquarian, I think flatters Conquest Warrior. So we'll put that one on top. Thought Merit was interesting in here for Safi Joseph off a good-looking debut victory in November. The follow-up, third place finish behind Real Macho, who, again, the Rohan Creighton runner in the Fountain of Youth that I think is going to be very intriguing off of this race. He ran very well in there. But I think Merit is one of those that steps out of the maiden company and then gets some good experience in that non-winners who won last time. And Nomos going off for Todd Pletcher. Obviously, they had some expectations for this horse. Off the debut win, they went into a stake at Saratoga, ran 4th, and a stake at Keeneland, ran 12th, and then the Kentucky Jockey Club and ran 8th. 4 of the 5 starts so far have been on the turf. The Jockey Club, the 8th place finish was the lone dirt start. And since the maiden breaker, it just hasn't been quite what I assume they had hoped for and expected. I will note, though, it's Todd Pletcher, and I just thought the horse might be a little bit interesting in here with the scenario. So for me, in the 7th at Gulfstream, 6, 1, and 2. 8th race at Gulfstream this afternoon. Interesting bunch in here. 5 furlongs on the turf for optional claimers with the C condition. I'm 1, 3, 10, and 7. I'm going to put Axtelm on top. Decent little third place finish last time in a similar event. And in fact, the last few races have been fairly similar events. But of those last 3, the last was the best. Seems to be moving in the right direction for Safi Joseph. I'll look for this one to maybe be primed to put in a better and a winning effort today. But I could point to probably 4 others in here and have kind of an equal level of confidence. One of those being Mamba on 3, the 3 horse who won last time out. Optional claimer, starter allowance. That was first off the claim, so clearly it was a clever claim, but the horse has had a couple of wins and a couple of seconds in the last 5 starts, so in good form, particularly with that win last time, so coming in fine fashion. And then at 12-1 on the morning line, City Mischief is an interesting runner for Mark Cassie and Gary Barber. Nice win, 2-back up at Woodbine. Wound up the Woodbine season early in December with a 6th place finish. But I thought overall, if you look down the page on a better effort, I think this horse is a player in with this bunch again, and perhaps a little bit of a price. In the 8th at Gulfstream, 1, 3, 10, and 7. And we will wrap it up a little after 5 o'clock this afternoon with the 9th and final at Gulfstream on this Friday. Maiden optional claimer with a C condition, 5.5 furlongs. I'm going to go 4, 7, 6, and 8. I'm going to put David Songs on top. Dams produced some interesting siblings. There was a sibling called Joyful Noise that took 5 starts to win. But overall, get this, the sibling, 98 starts, 12 wins, 16 seconds, 24 thirds. So it turned out to be a nice winner with plenty of starts. There was another sibling that was a little more precocious, perhaps. A sibling called Spirits Wind was second in the debut, then won the next 3, including a couple of stakes in those next 3 starts. Overall, that won 5 wins and 8 starts with a couple seconds. So I thought the siblings were intriguing here. This one hasn't quite lived up to it, but has shown a little bit of punch so far. We'll look for David Song with the experience under the belt to maybe break through. Second spot, number 7, Celtic Pride. Good improvement, start 1 to start 2. I think off of that improvement, another one that could be primed for even better this afternoon. And Entendre in the 3rd spot. Last couple of starts have been in a relatively similar company. The debut effort was a pretty good second. Last time ran kind of a fading 4th behind the next out winner. But again, off of the big debut effort, maybe it was just a little regression to build on and get back to the debut effort this afternoon. Lasix being added as well. So in the 9th and final at Gulfstream, 4, 7, 6, and 8. All right, we will take one more break before we wrap it up on this Friday morning. So stay tuned. Handicappers Report continues right after this. Haven't signed up for a Capital OTB account yet? Now's the time to take advantage of the sign-up bonus. Open up a new account with $200 or more, bet $400 by the end of the month, and receive a bonus $200 into your account. Plus, you can take advantage of everything an OTB account has to offer: wagering from any device, live streaming, racing info, past performances, online promotions, and more. Sign up today and take advantage of the new account bonus. Details at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Friday morning. We'll just go over some of the news and notes again, and then we'll kind of wrap this show up and start racing across America. I just saw Terry Finley walk by. He'll be our first guest, talking about some of the West Point horses coming up over the next couple of days here and beyond. We also have Dave Grenig. We taped him yesterday, looking at some of the stakes action tomorrow. So a big racing across America coming up in just a few minutes. But again, let me remind you, Clubhouse Racebook today in Albany. It's not today, tomorrow. Play the board contest. So you can go down, watch the Fountain of Youth card with, again, the early post tomorrow. We'll have an early opening at the Clubhouse. Post tomorrow at Gulfstream is 11:15. So we'll kick things off so you can get in, play that Gulfstream card beginning to end and enjoy it. Maybe grab a little lunch at Fridella's, but also the Play the Board contest. You can have a little extra fun tomorrow, Saturday, at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Let me remind you that here on Sunday, it's a mandatory in the Rainbow Six, and they hammer it in. I mean, it's the last few days, it's been a nice big pool. So even the consolation, you can have a little fun if you grab a piece of that. But Sunday, it will be the mandatory in the Rainbow Six here at Gulfstream. So mark that down and keep it in mind for Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow, if you were looking for a big cap at Santa Anita with expected weather at Santa Anita tomorrow, they have pushed the big cap card to Sunday and their Sunday card to Monday out at Santa Anita. But more importantly, the big cap will be Sunday. There's a number of stakes races on the undercard as well, including the San Felipe with Nisos. So that'll all happen, postponed from tomorrow, Saturday, because of the weather, to Sunday now, big cap card out at Santa Anita. Keep in mind also this weekend, Preakness Future Pool. Should be fun. And again, you can go to Preakness.com/future wager to get your information there. They have 40 betting entries, and you'll certainly find some value there. The morning line favorite, again, no surprise, Nisos at 4-1. But I said earlier, 6-1, second choice for all others. To me, I think if you pick up all others in this Preakness Future Pool, I think you're going to wind up with some horses and probably some kind of intriguing horses in there. So you have to kind of decide, again, does the 6-1 get you what you want in the middle of May? And 4-1 does not get my juices flowing on Nisos. Although I will say 4-1 on Nisos, probably all things considered, you're not going to get that on Preakness Day. So maybe you do look at that. But my point being, it's the middle of May, and so 4-1, you still have to get there. But should be fun. Preakness Future Wager, and I do want to emphasize, because again, I think the mindset is, with the Derby Future Pools typically closing on Sunday afternoons, this Preakness Future Pool closes tomorrow, Saturday at 8 p.m. So keep that in mind. If you want to play that Preakness Future Pool, you have to do so by 8 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday. So keep that in mind. Again, Preakness.com/future wager if you'd like more information. But should be a fun taking a shot, at grabbing a little value perhaps a few months early, as it were. All right, we're going to wrap it up here for the Handicapper Report on this Friday morning. But as noted, we'll take a little break and we'll reset and whatnot and kick off the opening slate for Racing Across America, and then we'll be back with Racing Across America in just a few. Don't forget, once again, tomorrow we kick off at 8 o'clock. So make sure you keep that in mind with the early poster at Gulfstream. Handicapper Support tomorrow at 8 a.m. Then we'll follow that with Racing Across America. 8 a.m. tomorrow, also Handicapper Support. Again, I'll be joined by our friend Steve Bick. We'll be sitting in doing some handicapping tomorrow, so it should be a lot of fun. But now we'll take a little break and come back in just a couple with Racing Across America live from Gulfstream Park. Stay tuned.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.